I stole my son's future to save his brother. Yesterday, my son bought my house and gave me 24 hours to leave. The knock on the door came at 8 a.m. sharp. It wasn't a polite knock. It was the heavy, authoritative thud of a sheriff's deputy. I knew it was coming. I'd known for months. But knowing you're about to be executed doesn't make the guillotine look any less sharp. I opened the door. The deputy was there, holding the eviction notice. But I didn't look at him. I looked at the man standing behind him. He was wearing a charcoal suit that probably cost more than the car I was about to lose. His shoes were polished to a mirror shine. He was checking his phone, looking bored, as if he were waiting for a table at a restaurant rather than watching his father lose everything. "Alex," I croaked. He looked up. His eyes were the same shade of blue as mine, but where mine were watery and red-rimmed from sleepless nights, his were ice, clear, cold, and utterly indifferent. "Mr. Mercer," he corrected. He didn't blink. "Technically, I'm the landlord. My holding company acquired the deed from the bank this morning." My wife, Linda, came to the door, clutching her robe. She saw him and gasped. A flicker of hope crossed her face, the naive hope of a mother who thinks biology overrides betrayal. "Alex! Oh, thank God!" she cried, reaching out. "You saved us. We knew you would. We knew you wouldn't let us end up on the street." Alex stepped back. He didn't recoil in disgust. He just moved out of reach, smooth and calculated. "You have 24 hours to vacate the premises," he said. His voice was a flat line. "My contractors are arriving tomorrow at 9 a.m. to begin demolition. Anything left inside goes to the dump." Linda froze. "Demolition? This is your childhood home." "It's a quarter-acre lot in a gentrifying district," Alex said. "The structure is irrelevant. The land is the asset." "I'm your father," I whispered. "We have nowhere to go." Alex looked at me then, really looked at me, and for a second I saw the 18-year-old boy I broke in this very hallway. "I know," he said. "If you hurry, the Motel 6 on the interstate has vacancies. It's cheap. You should be able to afford a week or two." "We deserve this. I know that. But knowing you deserve hell doesn't make the flames burn less. Let me tell you how we got here. Let me tell you about the choice." 15 years ago, we had two sons. Ryan was 21 and Alex was 18. Ryan was our wild heart. Charismatic, chaotic, always in trouble. He had demons, we said. We loved him fiercely, protectively. He was fragile. Alex was different. Alex was steel. Straight A's. Captain of the debate team. He had a full ride to Penn State lined up, but he had his sights on something bigger. He had an inheritance. My father, a man who never liked me much, had left Alex a trust fund, $50,000. It was meant for law school. It was Alex's ticket out of our lower middle-class mediocrity. Then came the night the phone rang. It was Ryan. He'd messed up, badly. He'd been driving high. He hit a parked car. Inside that parked car was a city councilman's parked convertible. Drugs were found in Ryan's console. It was a felony charge. He was looking at 5 to 10 years in state prison. We were frantic. We met with a high-powered defense attorney. He told us he could get the charges reduced, maybe even expunged, if we got Ryan into a luxury inpatient rehab facility immediately. The cost for the lawyer and the rehab was exactly $52,000. We didn't have it. Our savings were gone from Ryan's previous screw-ups. We had no equity in the house. But we had access. As the trustees of Alex's account until he turned 21, we had the signature power. I remember the kitchen table discussion. Linda was sobbing. "He can't go to prison, Jim. He's too soft. They'll kill him." "We can't take Alex's money," I said, but my voice was weak. "Alex is smart," Linda argued, clutching my hand. "He's a survivor. He can get student loans. He can work. He'll figure it out. Ryan won't. Ryan needs this to survive. Alex only needs it to succeed. There's a difference." That was the logic of desperate parents picking their favorite child under the guise of triage. We drained the account. We paid the lawyer. We paid the rehab. We told Alex 3 days later. It was the night before his high school graduation. I sat him down. I told him we borrowed it. I told him it was a family emergency. I promised we'd pay him back. Alex didn't scream. He didn't throw a punch. He went very quiet. He asked, "Everything? You took everything?" "Your brother's life was at stake," I said, trying to sound authoritative, trying to sound like a father making a hard call. "You can take out loans. You're brilliant, Alex. You'll get scholarships. You'll be fine." "You stole my future to pay for his mistakes," Alex said. "We saved your brother," I yelled, defensive now. "Family helps family." Alex stood up. He walked to his room, packed a single duffel bag, and walked out the front door. He didn't attend his graduation. He didn't go to Penn State. He couldn't afford the deposits without the trust. For the first few years, we heard bits and pieces. He was working construction. He was waiting tables. He was living in a studio apartment with 3 other guys. We felt guilty, sure. But we were busy. Ryan came out of rehab and stayed clean for 3 months. Then he relapsed. Then came the gambling debts. Then the bail bondsman. We kept bleeding for Ryan. We remortgaged the house. We maxed out the credit cards. We cashed out our 401ks. Because Ryan was always just about to turn it around. He just needed one more chance. Meanwhile, Alex was clawing his way up from the mud. We found out later he'd started flipping houses. He learned carpentry on those construction sites. He got his real estate license at night. He bought a condemned duplex, fixed it himself, rented it out. Then he bought another, then a complex. By the time he was 28, he was a millionaire. By 33, he was a mogul. We tried to reach out. Linda sent birthday cards. They came back returned to sender. I left voicemails when Ryan got into trouble again, asking for a loan. He never answered. We created a narrative to comfort ourselves. Alex is cold, we told the neighbors. He forgot where he came from. He cares about money more than his own flesh and blood.
We were wrong. He didn't forget where he came from. He remembered exactly where he came from. Fast forward to 6 months ago. The well finally ran dry. Ryan had disappeared. Took my truck and drove to Vegas. Haven't seen him since. We were left with the debt. The bank foreclosed. We put the house on the market, hoping to scrape enough equity to rent a trailer, but the offers were low. Then a cash offer came in, above asking price, fast close. We celebrated. We thought we were saved. We didn't know the buyer was an LLC owned by Mercer Development Group. We didn't know until he was standing on our porch. "Please," Linda begged, grabbing Alex's sleeve. "We're old. We're sick. Your father has a bad heart. Where is your compassion?" Alex looked at her hand on his sleeve until she let go. "I learned about asset allocation from you, Mom," he said. "What?" "You taught me that resources should be directed to where they are most needed," he said. His voice was conversational, like he was discussing the weather. "You invested everything you had into Ryan. That was your portfolio strategy. High risk, high reward, right?"
"He's your brother," I croaked. "He was a liability," Alex corrected. "And I was a steady, high-yield bond that you cashed out early to cover a margin call on a bad stock." He checked his watch. It was a Patek Philippe. I recognized it. Not the brand, but the specific watch. It was my father's watch. The one I had pawned 10 years ago to pay for Ryan's court fees. Alex saw me looking. He tapped the glass face. "Found it at an auction," he said. "Cost me $5,000 to buy back. A lot more than the $200 you got for it." "Alex, please," I started crying. I'm not proud of it. I wept. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry we hurt you. But you won. Look at you. You're rich. You're successful. You didn't need the money. We were right. You made it anyway." That was the wrong thing to say. The air around him seemed to drop 10 degrees. He leaned in close. "I made it in spite of you," he hissed. "I spent 7 years mixing concrete until my hands bled. I ate ramen in a closet while you bought Ryan new cars to wreck. I missed my chance at law school. I missed my youth. I made it because I had no other choice." He straightened up and buttoned his jacket. "You told me that money was more important than loyalty. You told me that need justifies theft. I'm just applying your lessons. I don't need this house. I'm going to bulldoze it to build a parking lot for my complex next door. But I want to do it. And since I have the capital, I can." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. He tossed it at my feet. "What's this?" Linda asked, trembling. "Consider it a severance package," Alex said. "There's $2,000 in there. That's the adjusted inflation value of the birthday checks Grandma sent me that you guys borrowed when I was a kid." He turned to walk away. "Alex," I shouted, "if you do this, you have no parents. You have no family." He stopped. He didn't turn around. "I haven't had a family since I was 18 years old," he said. "I just had creditors." He got into his luxury sedan and drove away. We spent the rest of the day packing. We didn't have much. We left the furniture. We left the photo albums. What was the point? They were just pictures of a lie. We're at the Motel 6 now. The room smells like stale smoke. I have $40 left of the money he gave us. Linda is staring at the wall. I tried to call Ryan, straight to voicemail. He probably thinks we have no money left to give him, so we don't exist.
I turned on the TV to drown out the silence. It was the local news. They were doing a segment on local entrepreneurs. There was Alex. He was wearing a hard hat, shaking hands with the mayor. He was smiling. A caption beneath him read, "Alexander Mercer, building a better future." The reporter asked him, "To whom do you owe your success?" I leaned forward. Just for a second, I thought. Alex smiled at the camera. "I owe it to myself," he said, "and to the realization that bad investments must be cut loose before they bankrupt you." He's right. He was the only good thing we ever made, and we sold him for scrap. Now, we're the scrap. We have to check out by 11 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know where we're going, but I know we aren't going home.